All right, all right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I want to welcome you to episode 2 of season 2 of the Know It All podcast. As always, allow me to first introduce myself to you. I am your host, Clinton Jiggett, aka Quick Jigs. And today, we're going to delve into a topic that's going to help all of us make the most out of the second half of 2023. The title of today's episode is Halfway Through 2023, How to Reset and Attack Your Goals. But before we continue, I believe it's going to be helpful for us to set the stage for a remarkable finish to the year. So I want to stop here for just a moment, and I want you to ask yourself, whether you say it an audible sound or you ask yourself in your mind, are you ready to end the year in remarkable fashion? Ask yourself that question honestly. And whether your answer is yes or no, my hope is that this episode is going to help you to truly dive into the second half of this year and wrap up on a high note. And everyone's high note is going to be different. Everyone's high note is going to be unique to them. So the first piece of advice I want to give everyone is focus on the person in the mirror. You don't need to look to your left. You don't need to be looking to the right. You need to be focused directly in front of you in order to achieve your goals. So without further delay, let's get started. So before we really plunge into some of the strategies and techniques for the second half of the year, I would like to take a few moments to reflect on the journey so far. I find that it is incredibly crucial to understand where we stand and identify what truly matters to us. And again, this is unique to us. You should not be comparing yourself to anyone else but yourself. Now, in order to do that, and in order to expand on this episode, I want to start off by saying congratulations. Congratulations, congratulations. If you're wondering why I'm saying congratulations, it's because you've made it this far. If you're listening to this episode, you've made it through the first half of this year. And what I want you to first to be able to do is to mark that as a milestone, mark that as an accomplishment. And now let's look ahead on how we're going to take time to pause, reflect, and also celebrate our journey thus far. So grab a seat, put on some headphones. If you have a pen and pad, I certainly recommend that you get it out. If you're on the road, then just listen intently and perhaps listen to the episode again later this evening, later this afternoon. But my goal here is for us to get comfortable in thinking through our actions, our thoughts, our past, our goals, our future, and embark on both a creative and captivating exploration together. Now, let's kick things off by first focusing on what some may view as the bad or the negative of 2023. Those are both words that I like to avoid, but I wanted to put them out there to help set a foundation so folks understand where I'm coming from. But these are not words that we necessarily need to use to understand that challenges are something that everyone reaches, most on a daily basis. But what I want to do as we learn to reflect and grow and focus on better performance in anything for the remainder of 2023 is to reflect on these challenges, or as I like to call them, opportunities for growth and learning. So allow me to ask you this. What are three challenges that you face since the beginning of 2023? I want you to truly think about that. These could be minor challenges, something as simple as getting to work on time or spending time outdoors or whatever it may have been, likely something built off of some sort of goal that you either vocalized or perhaps you put in your vision board or you just randomly thought of at some point this year of something you wanted to work toward or achieve or accomplish. But I want you to think about challenges that you faced. It could be things about your living conditions. It could be things about your career. Maybe you're out of work. It could be something to do with your transportation, your vehicle. It could be something to do with your relationship status. It could be something to do with friends, family, whatever it is. Right now, I just want you to focus on 3 challenges that you faced since the beginning of this year and take a moment and reflect on those challenges. While you're thinking about your challenges, I want to be transparent to you about 3 challenges that come to mind for me. These are challenges that I faced thus far this year that I think will be really helpful to kind of help you navigate through what you want to think about as we go through this episode. So the first challenge that comes to mind for me is the challenges that I've experienced in growing my consulting firm. So for those that are not aware, I own 2 companies. I have a fitness apparel company. You see Best Fit on my shirt. You see Best Fit on my mug here. I own a fitness apparel company called Best Fit Apparel. We are 7 years old. Uh, we'll actually be 7 on July 6th. So really excited. 8 on July 6th. Woo! Got to get it together. So my company will be 8 years old on July 6th. And that's kind of my baby. That's kind of aligned with one of my biggest passions, which is around fitness and health. So first of all, if you're looking for some great fitness apparel, certainly feel free to check out bestfitapparel.com. But what I'm referring to here as far as challenges is my consulting firm, which is originally was called the Jiggets Group, which is my last name. But late last year, I shifted the focus in the niche of my business and rebranded it as Best Fit Digital. And what I've had as a challenge thus far this year is growing my consulting business. After I lost 2 huge clients, the process of backfilling those clients has proved to be incredibly challenging. The next challenge that I faced this year is establishing a level of consistency in quality, growth, and delivery of this podcast. So this podcast is something that was kind of a brainchild late 2022, and me trying to align with what I would tell others if they came to me about an idea is jump out there and learn in real time. Don't wait until you have the perfect formula and you've refined it again, and now you think you're going to deliver this perfect product. For me, I think learning in an organic way is the best way to grow. So in launching this podcast just this past February and learning in real time, it's proved to be incredibly challenging. But I've also seen a lot of growth. But right now we're just talking about challenges. So growing this podcast, we're at 172 subscribers. If you would have asked me what my goal was at this stage in the show, it would have been at least 500 subscribers. So I'm behind as far as what I set as a goal, but nonetheless, learning the intricacies of content and what's going to help drive attention in YouTube has proven to be challenging. One of the things that my consulting firm does, in addition to web design, business development, but also SEO. So I know a lot about SEO and content creation and organic growth online, but the beast that is driving this podcast has proven to be quite a challenge. And then lastly, learning how to, my last challenge that I want to share that I've come across thus far this year is learning how to define my brand, Best Fit Digital, learning how to narrow my focus around niches that matter to me versus trying to cast a net and do a little bit of everything. And I know most people are familiar with the phrase where you're practitioner of everything, master of none. That's not what I want to be. I want to be really good at a few things versus not so good at a whole bunch of things. So those have been 3 challenges that I've gone through thus far this year, and I hope in me sharing those is giving you an opportunity to think through some of your challenges that you face thus far this year. And as we consider these challenges, let us ask ourselves a very important question. Should we continue to pursue the challenge? Should we continue to dwell on them as something we want to overcome? Or is it necessary to move on? I think sometimes people, because of what you've been told in conversation or taught, we see discontinuing something as failure. Um, we don't want to be quitters, right? You don't want to be someone who starts something and consistently ends doing things. But as you grow and mature, you have to understand there's a difference between being a quitter and a person who understands, analyzes a scenario and understands if it's a situation they should remove themselves from. Rather that's a business relationship, a romantic relationship, rather it's a job, a city that you live in, a goal that you want to achieve. There's a certain point where you have to be mature enough and real enough to yourself to understand that that might be something that is no longer part of my priorities. So my question to you is, as you think through these challenges that you've had thus far this year, are they priorities that you should continue, or is it time to shift your focus and your attention and your priorities to something new? That's up to you. But what I want to encourage you to do is to understand that you're not a quitter because you discontinue something. Whether, again, you decide to keep it moving or to keep going at it, that's an honest conversation that you should have with yourself. For me, in my three challenges, they are all challenges that are worth it to me to continue to pursue, to learn, to grow, and to evolve into a better version. But again, sometimes we get so caught up in the past that it can hinder our progress. But remember, the beauty of life lies in embracing change, adapting and forging ahead. So again, ask yourself, do I need to adapt and leave this thing behind, or am I going to adapt and continue to focus on these challenges? And one of the most important mantras that I try to live by, I know I've spoken about this on a few different episodes, is understanding the mental shift of I can't versus how can I. So I can't is a limiting term. When you say I can't, whether it's I can't work for myself, or I can't find a better job, or I can't find someone who treats me right, to be in a better relationship, or I can't move to a better home in a better part of town, or whatever it is, whatever it is that you aspire to, if you have an I can't attitude, then you're going to be exactly right. Whether you say you can or whether you say you can't, you're right. So what I want you to do is to always shift it to how can I? So now you get the gears turning inside your head, thinking through how you can grow and evolve and meet that challenge where it is in order to be able to be it. So again, while I can't leave you stuck feeling sorry for yourself, likely in a downward spiral, full of negativity, bad energy, how can I just completely shifts that? So can't is not in our vocabulary. Unless you're saying I can't wait for tomorrow so I can have another great day, we don't use the word can't. Now, where does that leave us? That leaves us in an opportunity to embrace change and move forward. And what does that look like? When you shift your focus to something positive and think about the things that you've accomplished in 2023, that should make you smile a bit more. It might have been kind of underwhelming in a way, and kind of dismantling as well to kind of think through what your challenges have been thus far this year. So let's shift to the positive things, the things that are overwhelmingly positive that you've accomplished this year. Uh, it's time for you, first of all, to give yourself a well-deserved pat on the back, because whether you know it or not, you've accomplished something great this year. And that's what I want you to do, is to figure out what those things are right now. Think about it. And when you think about these positive things that you've accomplished this year, rather than a list of 3, I want us to do a list of 6 things that we've accomplished this year. And again, these can be big or small. This could be, I challenge myself to drink 2 cups of water. You might be a person who only drinks soda and juice. And you say, I'm going to drink 2 cups of water a day. And you accomplish that goal, that's something that you should be proud of. You might have said, I'm going to get out, and I know everyone sets a goal for 10,000 steps, but maybe you said, I just want to hit 2,500 steps a day. Because right now I'm doing 200 or 300, so you might have set that as a more modest goal. If you accomplish that goal, that's something you should be proud of. Because again, we're not looking at the person to the right. We're not looking at the person to the left. We're focused on ourselves. So again, whether it's something minor or major, uh, whether it's getting more rest or getting to bed earlier or doing laundry and folding the clothes the same day, or to start your own business, or to find a side hustle, or becoming a better parent or a better mate, a better employee, a better employer, whatever that goal may be, you are remarkable just for applying it and achieving it. So again, we're thinking about these things that we need to celebrate, the things that we've accomplished thus far this year. And I want you to fully celebrate what that really means. Okay? Now, when I think about 6 things that I've accomplished thus far this year, honestly, I'm proud to say that my list is much longer than 6. And again, focused on myself, not the person to the left, not the person to the right. But to give you, again, more transparency, the first thing that I can think of that I've accomplished this year is starting this podcast. So, I had a challenging remark on the podcast, but a positive remark on the podcast, an accomplishment is even starting it. I didn't waste a lot of time, like I mentioned before, trying to make it perfect first. I just decided to go after it and just learn in real time. And it's been a great decision. It's certainly not something that I regret, and I'm hoping to just continue to hit it and learn more as I navigate through this year. Another thing that I reflect on that I'm proud of is I took some risks this year with my business, more specifically in business relationships. And even though a couple of them did not work out favorably, I don't regret taking the risk of the relationship because I bet on myself, I bet on my abilities, I put my best foot forward. And like every other challenge, every other thing that doesn't go exactly as you plan, it gave me an opportunity to learn and become better. Something else that I accomplished this year. First of all, I'm a proud father. Is probably my most important, not probably, it's my most important role in life. I hold it above everything that I do. On my forearm here, I have a tattooed, fatherhood is the best hood. It's something that I live by. It's something that I truly cherish and try to reflect on each and every day. And my kids, they amaze me every day. They've I've grown in my ability to learn from them, to empathize, but to also to teach and to guide them. And what's even cooler is I even had the opportunity to add 3 more kids to the folds because I finally decided to share space with my girlfriend, and now we live together along with her 3 kids. So now we have our own version of the Brady Bunch, which I'm sure we're going to hear that joke forever now. But that's one of those really great decisions for 2023. Beginning of the year, I challenged myself to do dry January, and I'm a big bourbon lover. I'm a big beer lover, and it was just kind of a last minute decision at the end of this year that I said I was going to do dry January. Not only did I do dry January, but immediately following dry January, I decided to do 75 hard, which for those who are not familiar with 75 hard, it's 75 straight days of being incredibly strict. You are working out twice a day for at least 45 minutes per workout. The workout part wasn't the challenge for me because I already work out 6 days a week, so adding an extra day wasn't a big deal. But it's 2 times a day. One of those workouts must be outdoor. You must read at least 10 pages of a book per day. For me, it was a self-help book every day, which would allow me to read 4 books in 75 days, where that's about how many books I read all of last year. So I basically went from dry January to 75 hard. You also cannot drink for those 75 days. So I basically went the first 4 months of this year without drinking. And for me, that was an accomplishment just because I know I enjoy drinking. I love beer. I'm a beer snob. I certainly am going to judge you if you order a Corona in front of me. And I absolutely love bourbon, old fashions. So that was one of those cool things that I accomplished the beginning of this year. And I've been really consistent in logging each and every one of my meals, which is something that I really wanted to try to stick to, rather than going off of my own memory of what I ate and how well I performed. Every single day, I'm in my fitness pal, logging each and everything that I put into my body and weighing myself every single day, just to watch my patterns and understand the things that spike me and bring me down. Understand how food affects my moods, affects my workouts, affects my overall well-being. So that's been one of those really cool challenges that I've been able to take on and achieve my goal thus far this year. And then the final thing is just continuing to grow in my thoughtfulness as a human, as a father, as a friend, as a brother, as a cousin, as a nephew, as an uncle, as a father, reaching out to family and friends, just to check on them, trying to be more consistent in that. Everyone's busy with life, and there's certainly still room for improvement. But shooting a text, shooting a voicemail, trying to plan a time to hang out and get together, just trying to grow in my effort to show up when invited to someone's space, especially so you invite me to an event, and also just being more thoughtful and deliberate in the moment to enjoy. So try not to immediately whip out my phone when I'm somewhere. Try not to just take a zillion pictures and not live in the moment. Understanding that most things that I do record when I'm out enjoying an event, I never look at again. But for some reason, it's become part of popular culture to whip your phone out. So just trying to be more deliberate in living in the moment versus recording the moment. And just trying to be a witness in real time and be conscious in the moment. So those are 6 things that I'm celebrating as my accomplishments thus far this year. Of course, what I want to know is, what are you celebrating? What are you proud of thus far this year? And I don't care how long it takes you to come up with your 6. I don't want you to come up with 5. I don't want you to come up with 7. Right now, I just want you to come up with 6 things that you are proud of this year. And they can be minor or major. And the secret is, it's all major. Just that we perceive certain things as minor and certain things as major. And as we move on and we think about life and how crucial it is to find inspiration in the little victories and milestones that shape our journey, just remember that every single step counts, no matter how small. Every journey begins with one step. Every marathon begins with your first step. Nothing begins without you taking that first step. So by acknowledging and embracing our accomplishments, it allows us to cultivate a sense of pride and motivation that will propel us to even greater heights. So, inspiring recognition of your personal achievements is incredibly important. And as we continue to navigate through this episode, again, I want you to reflect on those challenges that we've encountered and decide whether they deserve your continued attention. And then, of course, like I've already mentioned, celebrate those incredible achievements that have made us who we are today. And together, as we uncover the reasons to be proud of ourselves and find the inspiration to keep pushing forward, let's make sure that we do the things that are going to get us to our goals. Personally, to help me get to my goals thus far this year, I spent a lot of time on personal growth, taking free courses via Coursera.com, listening to TED Talks on a whole range of topics. I try not to be focused in my echo chamber of things that I already feel like I know. Using Masterclass, which is a great resource where you can learn from industry experts on practically any topic, and use that as leverage to aspire to reach. So Coursera is something I advise you to take a look at. YouTube University, I'm always an advocate, and go look at Masterclass, I believe it's .com. Great resource for lots of insight, in addition to reading books, listening to other podcasts, and then even on LinkedIn, I've made it a habit to inbox people who I consider leading professionals in their fields or their discipline or their knowledge, and just try to use information from those types of folks as well to power me to grow and to also evolve in 2023. And now that we have a kind of a clear understanding of what our challenges look like, what our progress looks like, and you're thinking through your priorities as we continue the second half of 2023, What I want you to do is to not settle for vague aspirations. I want you to bring intentionality and a smart approach to the table. So I said smart with emphasis very specifically because I want to talk to you about what smart goals look like. With our goals in place, bridging that gap between intention and action is incredibly important. Creating both a robust and effective action plan is going to be crucial to transforming your goals into reality. So what I want to provide for you before we wrap up here is a step-by-step guide to creating an action plan. So again, I hope you have your pen and paper out. Pause the show, go grab a pad, go grab a notebook, or whip out your phone, and let's take notes. So we all know that the road to achieving our goals is not always going to be smooth. In fact, I think you'll be hard pressed to find someone who reaches their goals without obstacles or challenges or moments when their motivation dwindles. So, how do you allow yourself to stay on track and overcome these hurdles? In order to do that, what I would like us to do is to explore some powerful strategies together in how to inspire and overcome challenges. And as we navigate again through the second half of 2023, it's important to remember that both setbacks and failures are not indicators of defeat. Instead, as I've mentioned in the beginning, they are opportunities for growth, for learning, and for resilience. So embrace these moments, adapt, and keep pushing forward with unwavering determination. So, what does that look like? It looks like you not only writing down these goals, being intentional with them, again, whether this is a vision board or just something you save in a notepad and you review maybe on a weekly basis. But in order to stay motivated in overcoming challenges, it's crucial that you foster a supportive environment. Surrounding ourselves with like-minded individuals who you trust and who you can share your aspirations with can be a game changer. And this doesn't have to be a dozen people or even a half dozen people or even three people. This might just be your spouse or your significant other or your best friend or your counselor or your business consultant or mentor. But having a network of folks that can be supportive is an incredibly helpful tool. So as you think about the second half of 2023 and you're thinking about what you want to accomplish and you're reflecting on the things that didn't go well and you're reorganizing your priorities, reflect on all of this with intention. Be consistent about your intention and be honest with yourself about the variances in going up and down. Expect it, be honest about it, learn from it, embrace it, and keep moving forward. Because the thing is, time's going to pass no matter what you do. So you might as well do the things that you want to do to move towards your goal. You don't have to wait. Time is never going to be perfect. Life is never going to give you the perfect combination or the perfect hand. It's going to always give you a little bit of this and some of that. It's up to you and you alone how you react, how you respond, how you learn, how you build, and how you achieve your goals. So, as we wrap up this episode, what I want you to do is to again celebrate the fresh opportunity that is the second half of 2023. The slate is clean. It's time for a reset, for you to refocus and to attack your goals with a renewed vigor, with determination. And remember, the power to create a remarkable future relies on you and you alone. So, with that said, I hope everyone takes this to heart, takes my call to action to grow and expand. And please feel free to share your 3 challenges and your 6 accomplishments in the comments. Please, as always, like, share, and subscribe. And I can't wait to hear about your plans to become more valuable, to grow and expand in the back end of 2023, so that when we wrap up the year, we'll have even more to brag about, more to be proud about, more that we learned, and more that we're going to use to fuel both our personal and professional growth. So until then, my name, of course, is Clinton Jiggets, aka Quick Jigs. This is the Know It All Podcast, and I want to inspire you to continue to reach for the stars And as we were told when we were in elementary school, at least for those that were 80s babies, shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll always be among the stars. Have a great day on purpose. Thank you.